Hey guys, welcome back to another sit down video. Welcome back to Faith Shards. Today we're gonna go back to basics. Today we're gonna talk about the steps of becoming a US RN. Surprisingly, I get those inboxes. People wanna know the steps and the process of becoming a US RNs. And I have met people here who didn't come here as nurses. They came in other ways, and they want to find out how their relative who is a nurse want to come to the US and practice as a nurse. And so today we're going back to the basics. And I have decided to do a series of videos, like the whole process of becoming a US RN. So these are the videos that I did a long time ago when I started this channel, but for some reason I think the algorithm don't push them forward, because by that time I didn't have a lot of followers. I didn't get a lot of views on those videos, and some people are still out there looking for these kinds of information. So I'm gonna do a video on all the steps of becoming a US RN, and I'm gonna do a whole series of how one can become a US RN. So if you're new here, welcome to this channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming by. So the first step in becoming a US RN is very important. Is the step that you need to do before any big decision in life. If you're back home, coming to America, miles and miles away from your normal, is very difficult, and the process itself is very challenging. So you need to change your mindset. You need to strengthen your mindset and be ready for any obstacles that are gonna come your way, because trust me, there will be. I have never met one person who has told me that their journey in the process of becoming a US RN was seamless. So you need to change your mindset. You need to be strong mentally and get ready for this challenge. Now, that was a by the way but very necessary step. Now, the really first step that you need to do is meet the eligibility requirements of becoming a registered nurse in America. And one requirement is to hold a valid license in your home country. So if you are in Kenya, if you are in India, wherever you are, your license must be current. I mean, your license must be active, and you must be registered by the Board of Nursing wherever you are. Another requirement under the basic eligibility requirements is your degrees. So most of the time, for you to be a US RN, you need you have a bachelor's degree in nursing, but also some people have the associate degree, as they call it here, or the diploma in nursing, wherever they are. I know diploma in nursing is common in my country, and they all meet the academic eligibility of being a US RN. So if you have a diploma in nursing, don't think that you cannot become a US RN. When you get here, you all be RNs. So whether you have a degree or a diploma, you can still pursue the journey to become a US RN. For your country, make sure your diploma meets the requirements of you becoming a US RN a US RN. And then under the basic requirements, you need to have English proficiency. And for the for you to meet the requirements of being a nurse in the US is not just the fact that you speak English and you studied English in your schools, and English is your first language or your second language. No, you have to take the IELTS exam or the TOEFL exam to show your proficiency in English. So those are some of the basic requirements, the very basic requirements that most of us already have for you to become a US RN. I know the IELTS exam most people don't have, because why should you take the IELTS exam if you are not planning to do anything with it? So that's some of the basic requirements that you should have, at least as entry requirements to become a US RN. So the next step is the credential evaluations. So you have your academic credentials back home, but you need to make sure your academic credentials meet the US standards of being a registered nurse here in America. So the most common credentialing body that I know that credentials that evaluates the nurses certificates is the CGFNS. So you need to submit all your academic credentials to the CGFNS, and CGFNS will evaluate your credentials, and they tell you if you meet or you do not meet the requirements of becoming a registered nurse in America. There are so many bodies, but the most reliable is the CGFNS. So if you are back home and you want to start this journey, make sure you get evaluated by the CGFNS. And in our series, we're going to talk about the CGFNS too. So don't worry about it. So one thing that I noticed, apart from the CGFNS, some people in some states I'll put the states on the screen if I'll be able to research. Some states need you to do a CGFNS exam. I didn't have to do it, and apparently it's like a CGFNS exam is almost like an NCLEX exam. So if you are applying to a state, make sure which kind of exam they want you to do before you do the NCLEX. So that is one thing that I have discovered, and somebody voiced that, like they send me Instagram DM about a CGFNS exam they had to do. I actually had an idea, but I didn't know what states actually need you to have a CGFNS exam. But most of the states, they just require you to evaluate your credentials with their CGFNS, and then the CGFNS will give you a report to show if you qualify, your academic standards qualified you to be a registered nurse here in America. Now, the fourth step that you have to do is apply for NCLEX RN authorization. Now, for you to do that, you need to decide which board of nursing you're gonna take or test your NCLEX with. So there's a lot of board of nursings. The US is a country of states, and every state has their own board of nursing. Some board of nursings have compact licenses. Some board of nursing have single state licenses. Compact licenses are licenses that can allow you to work in different states that are allowed by that compact license to work with. For you to work with, single state license are, as they say, single state. If you get a license with a single state license, you can only work with that license in that state unless you endorse your license in another state, or you meet the requirements, again, meet the other requirements for another state to work over there. So I know the common compact state license is the license from the Texas Board of Nursing, which I use. So most of the people go to the Texas Board of Nursing and they use that to get NCLEX authorization. So you have to work with the State Board of Nursing to help you to do your NCLEX. So as I said, the CGFNS is going to give you the report, and that report is going to be sent to the State Board of Nursing for them to authorize you to do the NCLEX. And that authorization to test, that is the famously called ATT, you have to meet their own, the board's, the state board requirements. I know we will talk about it in this series, but I know for Texas you have to do their there's an exam you have to do with the Texas Board of Nursing, which is like a mini exam you have to do, and then you have to send in your they have to do fingerprintings on you on right now. So you have to meet the apply for authorization with the state of nursing that you're going to be working with, is actually to pass the NCLEX. Now, passing the NCLEX, most of the people feel like that is the hurdle, the big hurdle that they have. Most of the countries don't have NCLEX centers. It makes people feel like passing the NCLEX is a very big hurdle to cross. But good news is some countries are allowing, like the nursing boards are allowing more countries to have NCLEX centers. Especially my country just got an NCLEX center, which makes things a little bit so easy for nurses. You don't have that big anxiety because you know the NCLEX center is in your country, so it's less hassle to board a plane to go somewhere else to do your NCLEX. So you actually need to pass the NCLEX exam for you to get the RN license for the US. So I know before anybody starts Googling anything about coming to the US, they've heard of NCLEX already. The sixth step to become to become a US RN is obtain the license. So once you do the NCLEX and you pass, the state automatically gives you the license number. So you have to fulfill the state board requirements even when you get the license. So, but while you are back home, all you need is to have that license because you haven't started practicing yet here in the US. Now, the seventh step is you secure your US work visa. And this is where the things are a little bit difficult for people who are not the US citizens. So it's very hard for you to get a job just from like you are in another country and just get a job straight to the US market as a nurse. So this is when really the agencies come to play. I know a lot of you guys think that you really have to just have the agency from the get-go to start this process, but this is actually where you really need the agency, because most of the agencies, actually 99% of the nurses who come here like directly with the US RN from outside, they use an agency at some point. But this is really where you need an agency, because the visa for nurses is a EB3 visa, which is a work-based visa. Some people given there's a EB3 and H1B visa, but the EB3 visa is the common visa for nurses. So you need an agency who will be your employer, and they will petition a visa for you. So at this point, is where you really need an agency. But for you to start the process, please just don't sit around and wait. If you have the money, you can start the process by yourself. So after that, the 8th step is relocating and onboarding. So once you secure your job and you have the visa, you have gone through the embassy process, you've gotten the visa, you can come to America and start working as a nurse. So you have to come here and fulfill all the board requirements. If you need to get your ACLS, BLS certificates, your vaccine immunizations, and all that, you need to fulfill all those requirements, and then you can start working as a nurse in America. So those are the main processes of a nurse who wants to relocate from their country to America. So we'll be doing a series of these topics as more and more nurses are opting to get out of their countries and work here in America. There's a lot of opportunities for nurses here in America. Nursing is a very noble profession. It's a profession that has changed people's life. So if you are a nurse, don't sleep on this chance, and don't forget to like this video and also subscribe. Like this video for the algorithm to push it forward to everyone who needs it. So if you watched to this end, thank you so much for staying and sticking around, and I hope I have given you a blueprint of what you will be going through as you start the journey to become a US RN. So stick around for the whole series as we break down these steps one by one throughout the next coming series. Thank you for watching. Bye.